it's been all of a sudden on TV news every 5 minutes, quid pro quo, talking about the issues between the United States and the Ukraine, President Trump and the President of Ukraine. And they keep mentioning quid pro quo, quid pro quo. Anybody know what that means?
Sorry, it's a little word, so I don't know.
Basically, something for something.
Something.
If you buy me dinner tonight, I'll drive you to the airport tomorrow. Quid pro quo. If you do me a favor, I'll do you a favor.
Oh, okay.
Quid pro quo. It's a Latin expression, and it's been coming up constantly, almost every half hour, it seems, on the news, because the thing is, they're saying that President Trump withheld the money that was being voted upon by the United States Congress, the money to give to Ukraine for defense. He was saying, I'll give you the money if you go and investigate Joseph Biden, my Democratic rival, and his son, and see if there's corruption that they've been involved with in the Ukraine. So when you go investigate Biden, my opponent, which is not right to begin with, to have a foreign president investigating, the guy running against you for president of the United States, you go investigate Biden, I'll give you the money. Quid pro quo. Investigate Biden, I'll give you the money. No investigation, no money.
Something for something.
Something for something for something.
So we can say tit for tat, like tit for tat.
Yeah, kind of like the same type of tit for tat, yeah. A little bit like that. But this is a quid pro quo. It's been popping up in the news about this Ukraine business for the last couple of weeks. About every 30 minutes you hear somebody, and they've been making jokes about it on TV and all kinds of stuff. Quid pro quo. Something for something. You do me a favor, I do you a favor. No favor, no favor.
Is it a good thing?
Well, it can be a good thing. It can be okay, sure. Yeah, I'll treat you to dinner if you take me to the airport. Yeah, what's the problem with that? That's a good thing. And there can be many good things. But then there can be many bad things too. And everybody's pointing to this as a bad thing. In other words, investigate my opponent, give me some dirt on my opponent, and then I'll give you the money.
Yes, sir.
So that's what the big issue is about right now, and that's why impeachment and all this stuff that's been going on in the United States. Any questions about it? Quid pro quo? A quid pro quo. Something for something.
Something for something.
That's the idea. Okay. Yeah, that's been all over the news and talking about it, making jokes about it and stuff like that. They showed you a bunch of newscasters on television that couldn't pronounce it. The qui pro quo. I'm sorry, no. Qui pro quo. No, quid pro quo. Quid pro quo. And they were all of them making mistakes in the pronunciation. So it was pretty funny. Okay. Any no questions or any questions? 5 days, nothing happened, and not one question came. Okay, right. Okay, we'll get just started with a few words. until everybody gets here from the Bangkok Post. Chemical ban riles farmers. Chemical ban riles farmers. What does it mean to rile? Rile. Farmers in Thailand had certain chemicals banned by the government, and now that has riled the farmers. Made them quite upset and angry.
Okay.
Quite upset and angry. Riled up the farmers. Now they have to find new chemicals to control weeds, because the ones that they've been using for the last so many years, banned. And it has upset the farmers. They are riled up, very upset, not happy. Here's one everybody should know because it was pretty obvious the other day. What is smog?
Small.
Yeah, right, something like that, yeah. Smog.
That's a kind of pollution or something?
Yeah, smog back to hazardous levels in the city. Smog back to hazardous levels in the city. Hazardous.
It's a nature disaster.
Dangerous.
Disaster.
Dangerous levels.
Yes.
So they're saying that the air quality is not good. There is smog, dirty particles in the air. And in fact, the other day, it looked like it was going to rain, but it wasn't going to rain. It was just dirty sky. Smog. Pollution, air pollution of some sort. Dust, it could be dust or other particles in the air causing a smog situation to exist. As it did in, it says right here, hazardous levels in the city, dangerous smog conditions. Smog, you hear that all the time. Thai at crisis point. Thai at crisis point. Thai at crisis point. What is a crisis? A crisis.
So the bad situation of economy,
Crisis.
yes, or someone's life. It may be there is a crisis in someone's life, or it may be in the economy of a country.
There could be many, many
Yes, sir.
situations
Yes,
that
sir.
involve a
Yes,
crisis.
yes.
Good morning, Teacher
Oh,
Karim.
good morning.
Teacher Karim, Maryknoll.
A crisis. It could be one of many, many, many things, but it's a very dangerous situation. A crisis has been reached. A point where things either improve and get better or they become horrifically worse. A crisis is occurring, and in this case, the crisis is Thai Airlines. Morning. Thai Airlines is in crisis mode. They're either going to keep flying or stop, go out of business. They are in a crisis stage. They either have to find a way to survive or die. And that would leave 20, 25,000 people out of work. But Thai Airlines at crisis point. They're at the stage in a crisis. You either improve it now or it is a disaster.
Yes.
You could be in a hospital in a crisis condition of your own, your health. They can either save you or you don't. You're not saved, you die. Crisis. Financial can be, economic, sure. Health crisis. one of many different situations of crisis. We're talking about here the airline at a crisis point.
Good morning, teacher. For the physical for the individual, comment for the office and for the company.
Talking about a politician here in Mozambique heads for landslide win. Landslide win. What is a landslide?
So sometimes because of rain, or sometimes because of wind or something, a big mass of rock or soil falls on the road and stops the way. It's called landslide.
Right, it could be a situation where you had, let's say, a minor earthquake, and all of a sudden, rocks and dirt and everything's a landslide. Well, that is the basic definition of a landslide. It's land sliding down the hill, basically. But when they talk about it in elections and in politics, it's an overwhelming victory, a landslide win. It wasn't even close. It wasn't 52-48 or anything like that. No, it was more like 90-10. It was a landslide win. In this case, the politician in Mozambique heads for landslide win in presidential poll. Not even close. He's the heavy favorite. A landslide. Won in a landslide. And yeah, a landslide is basically dirt, rocks, everything going downhill. But when you see it in the newspapers, it usually refers to a victory, a very sizable victory in a political situation. Any questions about the words? Smog, crisis, landslide. Right. To be very angry. Poor quality air. Pollution. Something bad in the air. Dirt, smoke, dust, whatever. Crisis. A situation that has reached the point where either success or failure is about to happen. Any other questions about those words?
Wow.
No?
Hello, okay. Yes, no, okay.
Okay. We'll go along then. Yeah, you'll see these words in the paper and on TV a lot. Crisis, pollution, smog, something always not happy, not good.
Excuse me, Teacher James.
Morning.
Good morning.
Oh, wow, here we go.
Everybody studying. Tomorrow, we will have a meeting at 10 o'clock, watch out, with Ajahn Suraphet. We will have outing 4 days, Pakistan. Not next week, the week after. Week Samatit, okay? So we'll go for 4 days. You do not need to pay, we will pay for the bus. Jayarai, Ka Hong, okay? So we will make a plan tomorrow, 10 o'clock. We'll have a meeting with Ajahn Suraphet, okay? All right, then sign up list. Jacob, everybody understand?
Tomorrow.
Pachum Pruni, Sit Mo Chow,
Uh-oh.
Bangkok.
English class.
เย่ได้ไปแล้วพาวันนี้ไปเที่ยว
Okay,
พาที่เชื่อเลย
all right.
ไปผมจองไว้ตั้งแต่ก่อนแรกจองได้อยู่ท้อง
ไม่ได้ไปวันไหนไม่รู้ไม่อยู่ตรงนี้ไม่อยู่
มีประชุม
ตรงนี้ไปหาหมอ
ไก่ไม่ได้ประชุมพรุ่งนี้แล้วก็ไปอาทิตย์หน้าใช่ครับใช่ไก่มันสวยจังมันก็สวย ไม่ดีไม่ได้ไม่ได้ได้โอเค
Okay, let's see if we can get through this one. Bad weather caused the flight to San Francisco to be delayed for 2 hours. When the weather didn't improve, the flight was canceled. When the passenger saw the flight cancellation notice on the airline message board, he went to the assistance desk and asked the attendant when the next flight to San Francisco would leave. He was told that the new flight would be announced shortly. Bad weather caused the flight to San Francisco to be delayed for 2 hours. When the weather didn't improve, the flight was canceled. When the passenger saw the flight cancellation notice on the airline message board, he went to the assistance desk and asked the attendant when the next flight to San Francisco would leave. He was told that the new flight would be announced shortly. Okay.
Bad weather caused the flight to San Francisco to be delayed for 2 hours. When the weather didn't improve, the flight was cancelled. When the passenger saw the flight cancellation notice on the airline message board, he went to the assistant desk and asked the attendant when the next flight to San Francisco would leave. He was told that the new flight would be announced shortly.
Shortly, very good. When the passenger saw the flight cancellation notice on the airline message board, he went to the assistant's desk and asked the attendant when the flight to San Francisco would leave. He was told that the new flight would be announced shortly. Okay.
Bad weather caused the flight to San Francisco to be delayed for 2 hours. When the weather didn't improve, the flight was cancelled. When the passenger saw the flight cancellation notice on the airline message board, he went to the assistant's desk and asked the attendant when the next flight to San Francisco would leave. He was told that new flight would be announced shortly.
The new flight would be announced shortly. Very good. Bad weather caused the flight to San Francisco to be delayed for 2 hours. When the weather didn't improve, the flight was canceled. When the passenger saw the flight cancellation notice on the airline message board, he went to the assistant's desk and asked the attendant when the next flight to San Francisco would leave. He was told that the next flight would be announced shortly. Okay.
เมื่อวันไว้แกนเลยคาร์แล้วto San Francisco to the delay
for 2 hours.
for tour of the how
When the
weather did on to main
the flight was
main
cancelled.
of flight and factor
When the
when
passenger
the
saw the flight
cancellation
notice
notice
on the airline message
on the airline message board,
he went to the assistant's desk
he went to the seat
and asked the attendant
and other attendant
when the next flight to
when
San
the
Francisco
next
would
flight
leave.
to the San
Francisco
Francisco
would leave.
to
He was told
he was told
that the
that
new
the
flight
new
would be announced
flight might
shortly.
also the
Announced
now
shortly.
Shortly. Shortly.
shortly.
Shortly.
Thank you. Shortly.
Right. Very good. Go ahead.
Bad weather caused the flight to San Francisco to be delayed for 2 hours. When the weather didn't improve, the flight was cancelled. When the passenger saw the flight cancellation notice on the airline message board, he went to the assistant desk and asked the attendant when the next flight to San Francisco would leave. He was told that the new flight would be announced shortly.
The next flight would be announced shortly. Saw the flight cancellation notice on the airline message board. He went to the assistant's desk and asked the attendant when the next flight to San Francisco would leave. He was told that the new flight would be announced shortly. Okay.
Bad weather caused the flight to San Francisco to be delayed for 2 hours. When the weather did improve, the flight was cancelled. When the passengers saw the flight cancellation notice on the airline message board, he went to the assistant desk and asked the attendant when the next flight to San Francisco would leave. He was told that the new flight would be announced shortly.
The new flight would be announced shortly. Very good. Good job. Flight cancellation notice on the airline message board. He went to the assistant's desk and asked the attendant when the next flight to San Francisco would leave. He was told that the new flight would be announced shortly. Okay.
Bad weather caused the flight to San Francisco to be delayed for 2 hours. When the weather did improve, the flight was cancelled. When the passenger saw the flight cancellation notice on the airline message board, he went to the assistant desk and asked the attendant when the next flight to San Francisco would leave. He was told that the new flight would be announced shortly.
Right, very good. The new flight would be announced. Would be announced. Announced shortly. Flight cancellation on the airline message board. He went to the assistant's desk and asked the attendant when the next flight to San Francisco would leave. He was told that the new flight would be announced. Announced shortly. Okay.
That weather caused the flight to San Francisco to be delayed for 2 hours. When the weather didn't improve, the flight was cancelled. When the passengers saw the flight cancellation notice on the airline message board, he went to the assistant desk and asked the attendant when the next flight to San Francisco would leave. He was told that the new flight would be an announcement shortly.
The new flight would be announced shortly. There will be an announcement, and that announcement will be announced shortly. Announced shortly. Okay.
Bad weather caused the flight to San Francisco to be delayed for 2 hours. When the weather did improve, the flight was cancelled. When the passenger saw the flight cancellation notice on the airline message board, he went to the assistant desk and asked the attendant when the next flight to San Francisco would leave. He was told that the new flight would be announced shortly.
Would be announced shortly. Very good. Cancellation, message, assistance, attendant, announced. Attendant, assistance, assistance, attendant, announced shortly. Okay.
When the weather didn't improve, the flight was cancelled. When the passenger saw the flight cancellation notice on the airline message board, he went to the assistant deck and asked the